Winter 2026 is coming. Folks, let's talk about winter. I can feel a certain electricity in the air, a buzz that only happens when the atmosphere starts to show its hand. We are looking ahead, far ahead, to the winter of 2026. What we are seeing is a potent combination of global weather patterns. The big players are lining up on the world's weather stage. They point toward a potentially dramatic cold and snowy season for much of Europe. La Niña, polar vortex. When it weakens or is knocked off balance, it can unleash Siberian-like cold into Europe. Cold that seeps into your bones. Snow that transforms landscapes overnight. Storms that make you stay inside with a warm drink. From the snowy peaks of the Alps to the bustling streets of London to the chilly plains of Poland, winter 2026 demands attention and preparation. We are on the verge of a truly dynamic season. So get ready, coming up, we'll break it all down, explore La Niña, demystify the polar vortex, connect these global phenomena to your backyard. The atmosphere is brewing something special, and we'll be there to track it. Let's get into it. To understand the winter ahead, we first need to travel far away from Europe, all the way to the equatorial Pacific Ocean. This is the birthplace of La Niña. Imagine the surface of the ocean as a giant engine that drives our global weather. Normally, trade winds blow from east to west across this vast expanse of water, but during a La Niña event, these winds become much stronger, like a fan turned up to its highest setting. This powerful push piles up even more warm water in the western Pacific. In the eastern Pacific near South America, cold water from the deep ocean rises to the surface. This creates a vast area of cooler than average ocean water. This distant ocean change has a massive ripple effect on the atmosphere above it. The cooler waters of La Niña alter the path of the jet stream, the fast-moving river of air that steers weather systems. The jet stream becomes wavier and more amplified. So, what does this mean for Europe's winter? La Niña-influenced jet streams often favor a blocking pattern over the North Atlantic. They tend to promote a blocking pattern where high pressure acts like a giant atmospheric wall, blocking the usual mild, moist maritime air from the Atlantic. Instead, Europe is exposed to frigid air from the Arctic and from Siberia. That's the classic recipe for a cold European winter. A moderate to strong La Niña. What early models hint for late 2025 into 2026. But it needs a partner to deliver a historic winter. That partner spins high above the North Pole. High up in the stratosphere, miles above the ground, sits a massive area of low pressure and extremely cold air. This is the polar vortex. The best way to think about it is like a spinning top. When the vortex is strong and stable, it spins fast and keeps the cold locked over the North Pole. With a strong vortex, Europe often sees milder winters. The real drama starts when the polar vortex weakens or is disrupted. Imagine that spinning top starting to wobble. It becomes unstable, elongated, sometimes it even splits into multiple smaller vortices. Its walls break down and large chunks of stratospheric cold drop south into Siberia, Canada, and Europe. It's like opening a freezer door into your living room. These events are often triggered by sudden stratospheric warming. Powerful weather systems below send massive waves of energy upward, punching the vortex from below. A weakened vortex can change patterns for weeks, creating prolonged severe cold. Meteorologists respect the polar vortex. It's a huge wildcard in winter forecasts. Strong vortex equals likely mild winter. Weak, disrupted vortex equals higher chances of severe winter. For winter 2026, La Niña is setting conditions that can make the vortex more susceptible to disruption. What are the long-range models telling us about winter 2026? The consensus is pointing towards a winter significantly colder than average for a large portion of Europe. The United Kingdom, Scandinavia, Germany, Poland, and France. We could be looking at monthly average temperatures 2 to 4 degrees Celsius below normal. That may not sound huge, but in meteorological terms it's a massive deviation. It means more than just a few cold snaps. It indicates sustained, frigid conditions. The timing is crucial. The pattern will begin locking in during December 2025, but will likely reach peak intensity during January and February of 2026. These are the months when the polar vortex is most vulnerable to disruption. This could lead to major cold waves sweeping across the continent, with temperatures plummeting far below zero for extended periods. Southern Europe might see less extreme cold, but won't be entirely immune. This is a long-range forecast. There are always uncertainties. However, the background signals are strong. The developing La Niña gives us high confidence in this cold trend. Europe should prepare for a winter colder than anything experienced in several years. The stage is set for a classic, old-fashioned, biting winter season. Cold air is one thing, but the forecast for winter 2026 suggests there will be plenty of snow. The expected weather pattern isn't just cold. It's really conducive to widespread snowfall. This air is typically very dry, so where does the moisture come from? North Sea, Baltic Sea, Atlantic. Bitterly cold air travels over warmer seas and picks up moisture and instability. That moisture is dumped as heavy snow on the first land it hits. Beyond sea-effect snow, the pattern supports larger-scale snowstorms. Atlantic lows running into entrenched cold will convert their moisture to heavy snow. Storms could dump 30 centimeters or more in a single event, paralyzing transport. The potential for snow isn't confined to the usual regions. Imagine waking up in central London to a foot of pristine, powdery snow. It's picturesque, but it brings the city to a standstill. One of the biggest concerns is the risk of major ice storms. This occurs when frigid air is trapped at the surface but warmer air moves in overhead. The weight of ice can bring down power lines, causing widespread outages. Persistent cold plus available moisture points to a season where snowfall will be a recurring headline across much of the continent. What would it actually be like to live through a winter like the one forecast for 2026? For many, the day would start earlier, not because of the alarm clock, but because of the need to de-ice the car. The morning commute could become a daily gamble. At home, the persistent cold would be a constant companion. The hum of heating systems and energy bills would undoubtedly rise. People would be layering up indoors, wearing sweaters, thick socks, and piling extra blankets on beds. Stepping outside would require a ritual of bundling up in heavy coats, hats, scarves, gloves. Pipes could be at risk of freezing and bursting, requiring extra precautions. A winter that reminds us of our reliance on heating, insulation, and robust infrastructure. While severe weather can cause isolation, it often brings people together. Neighbors helping each other shovel snow, checking in on elderly residents, sharing resources. Children would find joy in the snow, parks turning into sledding arenas. However, schools could face frequent closures, forcing parents to juggle work and childcare. For businesses, the winter could bring supply chain disruptions, but also opportunities. Sales of winter gear, salt, and hot beverages would soar. Ultimately, a winter like this would demand respect and preparation. It would be a season of stark, frozen beauty with landscapes transformed, but also challenges, testing the resilience of individuals and communities. The winter of 2026 has the potential to be a season that is not just experienced, but remembered for years to come. As we stand here in the autumn of 2025, the atmospheric signals are aligning. For a truly remarkable European winter in 2026, a strengthening La Niña and vulnerable polar vortex, a classic recipe for widespread persistent cold. This is not a forecast for fleeting cold snaps, but for a fundamental shift in the continental weather pattern. That could last for weeks, if not months. The dominoes are being set up. If they fall as predicted, this winter will be one for the books, marked by deep cold, significant snowfall, and potential for high-impact storms. We've broken down the key drivers: La Niña's Atlantic blocking, the polar vortex as gatekeeper of Arctic air. When these forces work in tandem, they open floodgates for frigid air to pour into Europe. The impacts on daily life would be profound, from the morning commute to the national energy grid. It would be a winter demanding preparation on both personal and governmental levels. This forecast serves as a valuable heads-up, giving everyone time to plan and prepare. While there are uncertainties in long-range forecasting, the strength of current signals provides high confidence. The winter of 2026 is shaping up to be more than just a weather event. It will be an experience. Brace yourselves, Europe. Prepare for the cold, prepare for the snow, and get ready for a winter you will be talking about for a very long time.